This is our ominous podcast episode, Beware the Ides of March. And in my research of this, because like March is coming, right? And so we're recording this. We know this is going to come out mid-March. And I'm like, ooh, let's do an ominous podcast. You know, Julius Caesar, the background. And so I started doing my research on what's the history of the Ides of March? It actually used to be a positive thing. It was the new year. You're looking forward to planning things out. You rejoice on kind of like January 1st. You were kicking off the year where you're excited. Now, as business owners, we come into March and we go, well, crap. January, February, March. We're in second quarter almost. Uh-huh. And so in our community updates, we'll start the dun, 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 like where we start the year is a third over or a quarter over, 25% over. And what have you done? All those great plans you had to make 2024, you got stuck in operations, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
So we've got people like, oh, well, I'll meet third quarter with you and sign up for your software. I'm like, guess what? That's only like 90 days away.
And I know a lot of other business owners do this too, but I experienced this. I was working on an executive team. We were small, but we were doing things the right way. And the owners were really looking to grow the business. And so, we were reaching out to additional resources and we did, the strategy session. It was, I think, early December. And, we would meet and, we had our consultant, everybody's got to have the bobs, right? And so, we had that, we had good plans. We had what came out of it was really good conversations. I always remember that as we sat down and it wasn't this disagreement or, this problem solving sort of deal. It was things that we could grow, things we could do, opportunities that we could find and seize. And so we'd have all these really, really great discussions. And I, at least personally, came out of those very excited, looking forward to the new year. Yes, I got this going on. And March and April was the time frame where, it would always kind of slap you in the face. It's like, wait, we've been working really hard. We've been doing all this stuff. I thought we were going to do this. I thought we were going to, launch, this year or whatever.
Had this initiative.
It didn't come around. What happened?
Yeah, I always laugh at my church. They always come out with like new initiatives. Like we're going to be better at serving, the poor. We're going to be better at doing this. And they have catchphrases for it. And I'm like looking at my watch. I'm like, okay, this is the flavor of the day. In 90 days or 6 months, everybody will forget about this. And it's that consistency you got to be. If you want to do cultural change, you got to be consistent. Like with churches, they're thousands of years old. And some of these institutions are just ancient. And it takes a long time to turn them. Even with small business, when you say, I want to change this culture, be more service-oriented, I want us to do better with customers, but you don't initiate the how. I want to be this way. How? How are you going to get there? So I think I talked about another podcast or community update where I say, if you want to start going to the gym and getting in better shape, that's your ultimate goal. Your first thing is you have to go to the gym.
Yep.
Now, do you have to do anything while you're there? No. You just have to walk in those doors at 3:00 or whatever time you specified on the days that you said you're going to work out. If you end up just kind of doinking around and going home, that's okay because you made it one step closer. Well, next time, maybe you go hit on a machine, like you do some, leg lifts or, leg extensions and you do that for 5 minutes. Okay. And then you get to the end of the first quarter and you've been going in, but you've barely been working out, but at least you made it through an entire quarter doing something. Rather than saying, I'm going to work out something. I'm going to buy my gym membership, but I just don't go. But you've changed your habit. That's a huge deal. So when you get to March, they say, beware the Ides of March. It becomes a success story rather than oh, crap. Look at the things I didn't get done. No, I went to the gym 3 days a week for the past 3 months, and I'm proud of myself. Even though I didn't get crap done, I started to develop a habit. Like I'm looking forward to going to the gym now. I've got friends there. I've met people there. There's a community there I'm now involved in. And you start wanting to be there longer and longer. And then by the end of 2024, you're like, I'm actually feeling pretty tight and pretty fit, like I feel better than I have in a long time. that's the how. And even with your business, like if it's that you're going to start off doing QBR software, don't push it off to third quarter. Start something little now that you can do. Get a what Skip was ranting the other day, like, go and just get a pencil and a piece of paper. If your QBR requires more than that, you're doing something wrong.
Yes.
Our software makes it easy, but that pencil and paper, that is all you should need.
It really is. I don't know why I haven't thought of that before, and it did kind of work me up. I remember thinking, calm down, Skip. It's not that big a deal.
Yeah, that was like a 20-minute rant, man.
But can you meet with your customers? All right. Do you get a meeting? And if you have that meeting, do you have to have something? Now, I know, there's things that we use, like our software, right? Our software helps your meetings be better, but you shouldn't have to have our software or any report to sit down with your clients and have a good engagement. I mean, if there's something you're needing to talk about, if you're needing data, yeah, you need that data, but what is the data going to tell you, right? Do you need your ticket data to tell you something, right?
Yeah.
Are we working? So I won't go off on my whole rant again, but it's that being intentional about moving forward and taking these steps, going to the gym. Just one of our members, we were talking, and it was the new year, and we were just kind of chatting just before we got started in one of our sessions. And he was mentioning what he did with his personal trainer and kind of the, what you're talking about being the, step by step. He went kind of the other way, but still very successful. He met with a trainer several years ago, did the first free session or, first session half off or whatever, trainers trying to build up their business. The guy liked him and said, all right, I want to buy a year's worth right now. And the guy was taken off. He's like, wait, I'll bill you whenever. He was like, no, I'm going to pay you right now, because if I don't pay you right now, I'm going to lose track. I'm going to, peter out somewhere in the year. But if I pay you right now, I know I'm committed. All right.
Yep.
I'm in this all year long. You and I are going to see each other until December. All right. And that started a cycle. And he says he's been doing that. He'd been doing it for, 3 or 4 years, felt better. It was a really positive thing. And every year that bill came around and he was happy to pay it, because he had seen, after he did it the first time, he had seen what it got for him. And I think we have to do that. We just have to say, these are the things I want to do, and I'm going to turn it into a success. Sometimes it's the pain that drives us there, but we can take that and go, I'm going to make this a positive element. I'm going to turn it into something good.
Yep. I think, our annual members, they tend to be, some of them commit and then they never make the change. They say, hey, I'm going to pay this big bill and it's going to keep me committed. Others pay that bill and it's a reminder every year, like, man, I'm getting things done and I'm excited.
Yeah.
So it's like the Ides of March. It can be a bad omen, or it can be a reason for celebration.
Yeah.
And so when you get that checkpoint with your user base, with your clients or whoever, it can be like, oh crap, we didn't get what we wanted done. Or it can be a, wow, what a successful year and what awesomeness is coming up. And I'm excited. Like right now, I am excited about Humanize IT. We hit our goals. We have been hitting our goals steadily. And so we're coming into March and I'm like, I'm so excited. This is great. I'm looking forward to the rest of this year being just as good. I can't wait for the rest of this year because we made little changes and it finally started working. And so now we're in the Ides of March, and I'm not looking back at January, February feeling depressed. I'm looking back at January, February going, man, if those were good, wait till I see what happens the next 3 months.
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking forward to. And you want to do that with yourself. So like if it's a workout, for instance, like you start with the little things, start little. We have a lot of our customers who come in and they try to do everything at once. They paralyze themselves. They get 3 months in and they haven't accomplished anything.
Yeah.
No, find that instant win. With our software, we built it specifically. Skip and I built it specifically so that within like the first hour or two, you can have success. It's not perfect. You can start having success. And it's going to be a continuous process to make better and better and better. Because you should succeed now with something. And then in a year, be like, wow, look at all that success. And look how much better I am today. So when you come to the mid-March, you should be like, wow, I was not doing QBRs last year at this time. I was not doing client success meetings at this time last year. I've already done 16.
Mm-hmm.
I'm feeling really good about myself.
That little bitty bit at a time is really poignant for us. We've done onboardings for years now. I've been working with a lot of new members coming in and seeing the evolution of people trying to start from the blank slate, so to speak, or people trying to, implement the entire feature set all at once. And it is an incredibly slow process. I put together a little graphic and I put it in some of my onboarding stuff. And I remember the marketing guys saw it and I thought it was really ugly and they hurt my feelings. But anyway, and it's got this little triangle of all the features that are on our platform. And I've got inside that, I've got a little green arrow right up through the middle. Right. I'm like, this is where I'm going to concentrate all of our activities. We're going to start in this a little bit. Yes, the world is our oyster. We've got all these other features and things that we can do, but we're not going to talk about a lot of those right now because I want to stay focused on what do you need. Yep. And we're going to make a little bit of progress. And the cool part about it is in your business, just like our software, once we do some of the core elements and we make just a little bit of progress there, sometimes when we do that, all the little details start to make more sense and many of them start to fall in place by themselves. Yep. So, you've got to identify the things you want for your organization, where you want to go. But rather than trying to do the giant leap forward, take one step. One step to getting there will get you closer and it will bring other things into better alignment.
Yeah. And in the new term for this, so it used to be called iterative process, lean manufacturing, little things like that. But per the business world, you have to come up with a new catchphrase. So now it's atomic habits. You can check the book out. There's an entire book written on it, how to make little changes every day that have big results. Mm-hmm. So that that's why we call it the Ides of March. That's why this whole topic today is the Ides of March. Is it going to be a bad checkpoint or a good checkpoint? Mm-hmm. How are you measuring success? So that when you get to March, is your year kicking off with success or is it kicking off just the same old, same old? Is it a bad omen? Like, 2024 is going to be just another 2023.
Yep.
But with an election.
Right. So take that pulse, take that check. All right. In March, you're looking back, January, February, where are things going? Is it better? Is it better than it was last year? Do you feel better about it? Do you think your business is actually on track for a more profitable year than it was last year? Whatever your checks are. But my question to you here is, how do you know? Why do you think that? Is it just a feeling, or do you have any sort of supporting material? So Adam and I were talking about compliance just a bit earlier, and where's your supporting documentation for this claim, right? Yep. And if you don't have anything, then I would say you're probably not making any changes, right? Yep. Even if you think things are better, if you can't identify why they're better, why they got better, how much better are they? If you can't put some metrics around that, then I think you're just, getting a lucky wind in your sails right now, and you have no direction really on where you're going. You have to know what you're doing is making things better or it's not, and you have to know why to some degree.
How are you going to get there? Right? That's more important. So you've got this metric, you see where you were last year. So last year for the software industry was a terrible year because everybody was planning for this recession. So everybody's holding off on, let's see where things are going. And even if that wasn't your intention, that's the feeling, this atmosphere of last year. But then all of a sudden, Q4 hit, and it was one of the best quarters ever for software services. And it's starting to accelerate here into the 2024. So it hasn't slowed down coming into March. And so everybody's feeling very optimistic. So we're feeling optimistic about the year. but how am I improving? How did I get here?
Mm-hmm.
What changes am I going to make today that are going to help June become amazing? So when I have my next checkpoint in June, I hit that mid-year. Am I going to be a little bit better? So if I have these big plans, I'm going to make these big changes. The chances are you're not going to, or it's not going to stick. But if I say, you know what, today I'm going to reach out to 3 more prospects. Today I'm going to reach out to just 3 of my favorite clients and see how they're doing. And then tomorrow I do the same thing. Well, 90 days, that's 120 people.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, not that I'm going to do that many, but you get the point. I've done something today to help myself be better by June. And that's why, you know, we started kicking off a process like last November in our sales queue and how to improve it. And we're reaping the benefits now.
Yep.
And it's getting better every month.
Yep.
And we're just making little changes, little tweaks. We meet with our sales meeting, say, okay, what can we do this week to close more accounts? How can we help our customers be happier? How can we reach out to existing customers and make sure they're getting the most use out of things? What's the one thing I can do today to make things better? And those little tiny things have made March, this mid-March time, fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm recording this at the end of February here, or ish. And yeah, I'm hoping things are going better by mid-March. I mean, pending some great catastrophe. We have Ride a Boom at the beginning of March, and that will accelerate us. We're hoping that people will see some really awesome value add to our software and see a nice boost there. That's a little thing we made a change in, new conference this year. And, you know, then we'll hit into April, another great month that gets a little low, but it's going to be accelerated because we did something in March to make April more successful. Right. And we took away things that didn't work last year, made little changes. We're not traveling as much to littler conferences, and that's going to accelerate us. We have expenses we didn't have. So not having those expenses and having increased sales is going to create synergy. Oh no. For a paradigm shift in April, that's going to increase our company dynamic. I'll start throwing out all the catchphrases here, but these little tiny things. It's not that I said, hey, I want April to be the biggest month ever. It's that I want to be better day by day, and we're seeing things kind of all click together. Yep. And then every once in a while, they all snap together in one moment, and you're like, wow, all that preparation we did. I am excited about March, rather than thinking, look at all the stuff I didn't get done.
Well, Adam, I think there's some really cool, things about our little story there, starting with sales in November. We weren't looking for the secret magic hack, in sales. We took an established, good practice, and we said, all right, how can we do this? All right, we've gotten some feedback. We've got good, team members. We got, professional experience in here. How can we implement this?
Yeah.
And, but, me being kind of the analytical guy, we could have derailed really easily there because, we needed a tool and we chose one, and, we didn't spend forever trying to pick the tool, right? We found a tool. We started running with it. What metrics do we need out of that tool? What's it going to tell us? What we can do with it? Well, we just started using it, right? Yep. And then we compared our results to what we put in, and we said, all right, let's try this. And it was a very iterative sort of deal where we built it. And now, in a relatively short amount of time, we're reaping rewards and success from that. And I've seen so many of our members start, and they want to have, everything figured out, and the entire process vetted and reviewed and replicated before they ever start seeing any value. And I try to stress to them, the value many times is creating that. It is proving it, as you do it, because if you just knew all the answers, then why do you have questions, right? So you have to find the questions and answer them in the process rather than just answering all the questions.
Yep. And that's part of like that iterative when we say go meet with your customers, take a pencil, take a notebook, and just ask questions and listen and take notes. That's the one thing you can change about all your client meetings. If you're walking in there without a pencil and a piece of paper, you're probably not there to learn. You're there to teach.
Mm-hmm.
And that is something you need to change about your mentality. Be curious. If you don't have a notebook, why are you there? I'm having an itch in my brain that some manager or something like that said that once. If you do not bring a piece of paper and a pencil to one of our meetings, why are you here? So that's a little change we can recommend today. If you're listening to this podcast, whether you're in pharmacy, like my wife, she loves to listen to this podcast, or you're in IT, or you're in the trucking industry. When you meet with a client, are you taking notes about them?
Mm-hmm.
Are you helping improve your understanding? That's the one little thing you can do. If you had started that in January, how many notes would you have about your client that you could be using today to make quarter two even more successful?
Yep.
Now you're like, I'm excited about quarter two because I see all these opportunities with my clients and prospects that I can solve because I listened to them all through quarter one. Now the Ides of March become this positive new beginning because of one change, one piece of paper, one pencil. That's all it took. That atomic habit, the iterative approach. Don't make a big change, make a bunch of little changes that are going to turn this year into just a glorious checkpoint.
There you go. Sounds good.
All right, Skip, this has been a great one. We've actually kept it pretty short today for once. I'm looking forward to March. We got several more podcasts here. Last week was Mike Giovanni. We're going to try to do one MSP a month here over this entire year. So be looking forward to our MSP series as it continues on being successful. All right. Thank you, Skip, and we'll see you later.
See you.